We'll now move into item B, which is overview and update on Angelo State University's current and future development of programs at Mathis Field Airport. And we have Dr. Donald Toploff to present today.
Thank you, Mayor Gunner, and I appreciate the opportunity to come before City Council and to give you an update on what we're doing at the airport with our commercial aviation program. I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of it and, more importantly, where we are now and what we look for in the future. So if we look at the history of the program, began in the fall of 2021. I projected to the Board of Regents and the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board that we'd have 5 students in the first cohort. I was a little bit under. We had 28 in the first cohort. In the fall of 22, we enrolled an additional 52 students into the program, and this past fall, 74 additional students. So we have a current total of 138 students in the program. We already, for next fall, have 80 students that have been admitted and are expecting to be in the program. So we will be over 200 in this coming fall. Our goal is to bring this program to somewhere between 250 and 300 students by the beginning of 2025. We couldn't do this without Skyline Aviation. Skyline Aviation is owned by ASU alums, and they have invested heavily in helping us with this program. If you may or may not know, an FAA Part 141 certificate for the flight school is required for the students to be eligible to sit for an airline transport pilot rating after 1,000 hours. Without going through a Part 141 program, that requirement goes to 1,500 hours. So it's a huge difference in a student's ability to attain an airline transport pilot's rating. Skyline has been there from the very beginning, and they continue to be, and we'll talk a little more about their involvement here in a moment. So what do we look like for the future? Well, first of all, I want to let you know that it requires 1 aircraft for each 7 students for this program. So with 200 students, if you divide that by 7, you come up with 28.57. It's a little difficult to fly 0.57 of an airplane, so we'll just round that up and say roughly 30 aircraft that are going to be required for this coming fall. Skyline currently has 20 aircraft with 6 more on order. They will get to 30 eventually, but we've had a little bit of a hiccup in that the Air Force has decided that they need all of the airplanes that are going to be produced by the Diamond Aircraft Corporation in 2024 or 2025. So we're going to be a little bit behind on getting aircraft for that, but we'll get there. So the total inventory cost of those airplanes when we get to 30 is going to exceed $12 million. And obviously that is a commitment to the community that is beyond what ASU could afford. And as I said, we could not do this without Skyline Aviation. So in addition to aircraft, it also takes a lot of instructor pilots. For those 200 students, it's going to require about 40 full-time equivalent pilot instructors at that point. Those are coming from all over the United States. We have pilots from Wisconsin, from Utah, from California, from Arizona, from other parts in the Midwest have actually relocated here to San Angelo because of this program. The other thing that is important to know is that as students matriculate through the program, when they get to 250 hours and they have, at that point, have all the certificates, including a CFI II, Certified Flight Instructor, Instrument Instructor rating, they will actually give back to the program. We'll hire them back into the program as instructor pilots. So that is going to be the way that we fill a portion of that need for those instructors. In addition to instructors, we have will employ and are in the process of hiring the 3rd full-time classroom instructor for this program. And so as we move forward, that number is going to increase as well. So when we look at the community impact in terms of housing, food, fuel, and all the things that is associated with living in San Angelo for those 200 students and 40 instructor pilots and 3 classroom instructors, that right now projects out to in excess of $5 million a year for the community. So it is a huge economic impact beyond just what Skyline Aviation is doing. So what is the impact on the airport of all this? Well, first of all, the number of operations is going up significantly. The airport director anticipates that in the coming year we will have in excess of 38,000 operations in that year. We know for this fiscal year we're already above 9,000 operations. So why is that important? Well, the FAA provides support to airports based on the number of operations that occur at that airport. And we'll talk more about what that means in the future. Skyline Aviation is, as you probably know, has leased the old GTE hangar, and they are in the process of putting a new fixed base operation in that will be next to where we are building. The next thing on the list is the ASU Aviation Training Facility, and I'll show you where that's going here in just a minute. In addition to that, we have been working with Howard College for them to start an airframe and power plant program. Obviously, with the number of aircraft that are going to be required for this program, it takes maintenance. And 2 or 3 maintenance people are not going to be sufficient for the fleet of airplanes that are going to be required for this program. So Howard College is in the process of working with Skyline to begin an airframe and power plant program, which will be an additional boon to the city. The other thing is going to happen, we think, long term, and it depends a little bit on some other things that happen at the airport, but should 927 be closed and turn into a taxiway, that will open up space for additional private hangars to be built at the airport. And we think that is a really important thing going forward. You may or may not be aware, but in this region of Texas, there is no hangar space for airplanes. The hangar space in Midland, there's a list about 8 miles long to get a hangar in Midland. We're basically out of hangar space here in San Angelo, and so new hangars being built by private individuals is going to be a really, really important addition to the airport moving forward. So here is what the new aviation training facility is going to look like. This is just the layout of it. It's about a 15,000 square foot facility. It is sized to handle 300 students. There are 3 classrooms in there, and obviously you say, well, you can't put 300 students in 3 small classrooms. Well, we don't need to put them all in the classrooms at one time. So they'll be scattered out through the day, through the week, and that should be sufficient. You can see that in the top left corner there are 3 simulators planned to go in there. And we have also designed this building that we can add to it as the program grows if need be. So what does the future look like? Well, first of all, we are looking forward to becoming the #1 aviation program in the state of Texas. That is our goal. We are already well on our way to doing that. We are going to become an accredited aviation program, and in very short order, we are going to be graduating student pilots that are able to go into the commercial industry. They won't be able to sit for their airline transport rating yet, but they will be able to take on commercial aviation jobs, such as one of the members of our aviation advisory board has a company in Midland where they fly pipelines. And so he has indicated that he wants student pilots or pilots out of our program to come and work for him. In addition, our partnership with Southwest Airlines is really, really important in this. We have a number of students that have been accepted into Destination 225, And as they graduate from the program with those 250 hours in CFI they will be placed by Southwest Airlines with some Part 135 carriers, which are things like NetJets, Wheels Up. Those are Part 135 operations that don't require students to have an ATP, Airline Transport Pilot rating. So they'll build hours with those, and then eventually they will sit in the right seat of 737s at Southwest. And after about 4 years, 2 to 4 years, and they build hours as a first officer, they'll become captains at Southwest. And at that point, they will make a very nice salary. So we are looking forward to the future of Mathis Field. We think that this project is really going to kickstart the things at the airport. Yesterday, we received information that our building permit has been approved by the city. I think we're waiting on an engineering report maybe. The FAA has also given its approval to this building, and our construction company, which is Hoare Construction, has indicated that they will put the fence up shortly after the first of the year. So we're looking forward to having an opportunity to turn dirt on that facility at the airport and make this a reality for ASU and for the city of San Angelo. Thank you for your time, and I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Do we have any questions or comments? Tom, you're my pilot.
Whoa.
You're on first.
We need to put you at the top of our prayer list.
Yeah, exactly. I better just be a co-pilot, all right? I better be a co-pilot. I mean, it's outstanding to see what started. Okay, so ASU, the tie, the whole thing, we've been there, we get it, got a plane out there. I think we're thinking too small. I mean, I was out there when we had all the Canadian T6s in. There was, I don't know how many of them. We were trying to get in the pattern. We'd have to wait 20 minutes before they would just clear us up to get in the practice. I think we need to be looking for some alternative runway. I mean, are y'all doing that, looking for somewhere else that we can also
So Jeremy
practice?
has indicated that with the number of operations that we're going to have, that we will be able to ask the FAA for permission to put in a parallel runway. And that's one of the things that will happen with the number of operations. And I intended to mention that, and I apologize for not doing that. But you're exactly right. We are going to very quickly overwhelm the capacity of one runway, the north-south runway in particular. So, yes.
Cool. And I think that's right. But I mean, and it's not mainly just here. I mean, can you move 5 miles away and put in basically a non-towered field and something like that just to practice? I think those are all things, and those aren't a today answer, Don. I just think it's outstanding to see them. I'm in the air and I can hear kids that went to school with my son, and I can hear her when she's on there, and they are outstanding. Their communications are great. They're doing their solos. They're just freshmen in college, and they're getting after it. So I was just saying, it's one of the most successful things I've ever seen come to San Angelo. I think we just need to spur it on, but it'll be an effort between what the city is, I was fixing to say, what we can afford, what ASU can afford, and as we move forward, our only limits are going to be money, so private funding will be a lot to make this go.
I think it will singularly be the biggest economic development engine that we have seen in San Angelo, Texas. And we love the vision. We love the fact that this city council has made the airport a target asset for development. We did that with our master plan several years ago, and you all have invested and created an asset that absolutely will continue to develop that airport, and we thank you for that thought process, the idea, and the follow-through. This wasn't easy, and you're making it happen.
Yeah, and I will close by saying we appreciate the commitment of this board and the planning council to help us to build this facility. It's like a lot of things. What we thought it was going to cost at the beginning has gone up exponentially, but we have the money to build it. As I said, come right after the first of the year, the fence is going to go up. We're going to turn dirt, and we obviously are looking forward to an event where we can have everybody there to help us turn dirt and to get this project underway.
Great. Larry?
From what I'm hearing, you're talking about training people up through multi-engine jet, right?
So they will go through, they will have a multi-engine certificate. It may not be a turbine certificate because the multi-engine aircraft that Skyline is currently using is a DA-42, which is a twin, diamond twin. So they may not have turbine experience when they graduate. But that's something we're looking at.
There's a rumor going around you're considering helicopter too.
So actually, that's not a rumor. Skyline has purchased 3 Schweitzer helicopters, and so rotary wing will be an option for our student pilots.
This is really exciting, Tom.
One thing, I don't think when you were referencing some of your economic development impact, I know you mentioned the number of students, but some years back, I was sitting in a meeting where it was tossed out that a student had an economic impact of 40 to 45,000 at that time. So I'm assuming that would be the same today, if not more. So we've got another $10 million probably just from economic impact of the students themselves.
I have
each
this
year.
habit of under-promising and over-delivering.
Good for you.
It's something that my father instilled in me a long time ago. And so that $5 million figure is based on taking those numbers and multiplying by $20,000 per year. And that's for housing, food, fuel, those kinds of things. And that's an underestimation. You're exactly right, Tommy.
It's huge. We don't need to underestimate the economic impact of the student just alone, not to mention everything else. So kudos to you and to your leadership team, and we appreciate what you're doing out there. Thank you.
President Hawkins, would you like to come forward and add any comment? And what you might do is update
Come on up, Ronnie.
the city and the citizens on our basketball victories over the weekend, which were significant.
Now you know how I feel when she just turns over and says, "Do you have something to say?"
Yeah, I guess so. Mayor and to the City Council, I will tell you from the perspective of what we're doing with the aviation program, one of the other areas that we will be doing, and it's not visionary, we will get it done, and that is with unmanned aircraft. And we will start that probably in a 2 to 3 year period of time, if not sooner. I will tell you that both of the basketball teams have done very, very well. We envision them going to the championship. That's what they have set the goal to be. Both the teams and the coaches have set the goal that they want to be in the national championship. That takes a lot of effort. And they went to those different areas, even though they were in Hawaii and in Florida. Those were good competitive areas for them to set their goal to what it is that they want to do at that national level. But all of our athletic programs right now are looking for conference and national championships all the way through for the springtime. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Jeremy, would you like to come forward? You're in the audience, and as our manager of our airport, I look forward to hearing some comments from you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Jeremy Valgartson, Airport Director for the San Angelo Regional Airport. It's very exciting. It's fun to see. He said 38,000 operations. That's just for ASU. So when you tack on all our military and everything else, we're really close to hitting 100,000 operations for this calendar year, which makes us a busy general aviation airport. So it's been very exciting. They're also at the forefront of flight training for an industry that needs pilots very bad. And the industry is growing. As you know, we've dropped down to 3 flights. We want to get it back to our 6 flights with American and potentially get additional air carriers. So the only way we're going to do that is putting pilots into the pipeline. So it's exciting to see the program. It's fun listening to the radio, hearing the new students out there. But it's put us on the map with the FAA. I have conversations with them frequently just on what's going on in San Angelo. And they want to come down here. They haven't been down since COVID, but they want to come see it because they keep hearing it from me and they almost don't believe it. So I want to bring them down so they can see it. Hopefully we'll see a lot more infrastructure and growth. And like you were saying, it's kind of spurring the pot. It's not just ASU. We're seeing a lot more business traffic come in. So we're becoming quite the little airport in San Angelo.
Can you talk about the taxiway to the hangars and the time frame on that project?
Yeah, the south taxi lane, again, we did not get any bidders. We put the project up for bid, we did not get any bidders. So we're kind of handcuffed meeting FAA spec. It's a challenge with the contractors today that are very busy, they don't want to meet the FAA spec right now. So we're working with the FAA and TxDOT to come out with a state mix that's a little more affordable, and something that the bidders, the local bidders at least, can achieve. So I don't have a good answer for you on that, Mayor. We're back to the drawing board.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments from council? All right, thank you very much. Item C, consider resolution of support for the historic preservation and rehabilitation of,
We need public comment on that last item.
it was overview and update, it wasn't a motion.
All items on the agenda are.
Okay, so any public comment? Please.
First of all, I want to say I love this, that we're doing this. And as a person that moved here in 1989 and first flew into the Mathis Field Airport to work for Johnson & Johnson, has flown in and out of there over the years trying to get to New York and various places all over the country, that this is a facility that is one of our biggest impacts to this town and to business growing in this town, because we cannot travel easily and transport easily because of our limited airport. So I love this. I have to limit it to 3 minutes, I know. And I do like this idea, and we are going to have to be adding a lot of facility demands on the city to add all these extra people and all these extra facilities. And what is y'all's backup plan for that? This is great, let's go build it, but how are y'all going to supply the water and the sewer and all the other things? Because that's y'all's job with our money. Next question is, do you have to be an ASU student to learn to fly? Because I want to join. And then how long does it take and how much does it cost? And do you have to be a student? And is there an age limit?
So I
We'll
will
answer
answer
those
that,
questions.
and I will say you can do all those things you want to do.
Cool.
You can go out there and find your own instructor and do all those things after you pass a medical and get certified
I
by
can
the
do
FAA.
that. Okay, but is it through ASU?
This program is.
this program is
But
through-
you can become a pilot.
I'm talking about through this program. So this is limited to students
This is
only?
an ASU project.
Students, okay, that's what I wanted to find out, so very good. And so that's my main question is facility backup for all these lovely people and businesses, because we're the ones that are gonna have to keep these places. Thank you.
Thank you. Further public comment? Okay, seeing none, we now will move on to item C.